Osunmakinde of Ijebu-Ode, a warlord beyond death. They did not say his name at night. Even in daylight, they whispered it as if it carried a curse. Osunmakinde. His enemies called him a demon, a man who had died and refused to stay buried. They swore that iron could not pierce his skin, that bullets melted before reaching him, and that his shadow walked when he stood still. When war came to Ijebu-Ode, the people did not pray for their warriors. They prayed that Osunmakinde would answer the call. The gods had turned their backs. The great kingdoms had risen against Ijebu-Ode, their armies marching under banners soaked in treachery. The Oyo Empire sent its finest warriors, believing no man, no matter how feared, could stand against them. But Osunmakinde was not a man. He walked barefoot to the battlefield, his robe woven with charms, the air around him thick with something unseen. His eyes burned like coals, his silence louder than any war cry. The earth trembled when he spoke, and when he raised his war drum, no living hand struck it, only the hands of the forgotten dead. They attacked under a moonless sky. The Oyo warriors crept through the trees, their blades thirsty for Ijebu blood. But something was wrong. The night was too still, the air too heavy. Then it came. Boom, 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 the war drum, but no one was playing it. A mist crawled from the shadows, swallowing the warriors one by one. Some turned blind, some fell to their knees, clutching their ears as whispers clawed into their minds. Then they saw them. Figures with hollow eyes stood in the darkness. Not men, not alive, not dead. They did not move, they did not breathe, but they were waiting. Osunmakinde stepped forward, his shadow stretching unnaturally, shifting like a beast unchained. The first Oyo warrior charged, sword raised high, but before steel could strike, his own arms twisted backward, his scream drowned in the howling wind. The others ran. Some never found their way out. Some were found with their eyes missing, their mouths open in a silent scream. Some were never found at all. By dawn, the war was over. Not a single Ijebu warrior had lifted a blade. Osunmakinde stood at the gates, watching the sun rise, his hands unstained, his shadow still restless. The people of Ijebu-Ode did not sing victory songs. They did not dance. They did not speak of what happened that night, because they knew the war was not won by men. Osunmakinde did not celebrate either. He simply turned away from the battlefield, his robe untouched by blood, his shadow stretching unnaturally behind him. As he walked, the mist followed, swallowing his footprints. Some say he returned to the world beyond, where the dead whisper his name. Others say he never left at all. But one thing is certain. On nights when the wind is too still, when the mist rolls in without a river, and when the war drum beats with no hands to strike it, Osunmakinde is near.